Wild for the Weekend is sponsored by the following supporters.
Hopcop Premium Meats are third-generation BC farmers, roaming pasture-fed, non-GMO, grain-finished cattle with no added hormones and steroids. We source local produce and specialty grocery selections located on Old Dewdney Trunk Road in Pitt Meadows. hopcopmeats.ca.
Hello everybody and welcome to Wild for the Weekend. Here we are again out at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Farm. Today we are going to cook some beautiful free-range organic chicken. And we're going to add some blackberries to it. We're going to play a little bit with that gorgeous, gorgeous chicken. So join us in just a few seconds on Wild for the Weekend. Well, today we are back at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Farm and we are today going to cook with organic chicken. This I'm really excited about. There are so many aspects of this chicken I've got to share with you and I'm too excited so I have to calm down, go through the meal and then we'll share them with you. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this beautiful smoked bacon. I just want 3 slices of this bacon and I'm going to just chop it, just a rough chop. What I want to do is I really want to put some fat into the skillet and I don't want to use oil, so I'm just going to render down the bacon and use the fat from the bacon in there. The skillet is very hot, which I want because I want that fat to melt down. The chicken breast, I'm just going to, first thing I'm going to do is take the fillet off of the back. So just slice that fillet off of the back. And then the breasts themselves, I'm just going to slice slightly on an angle. The reason that you slice slightly on an angle is to make it look bigger. That's the only reason that you do it, it's just to make it look bigger. So 2 breasts will go further, that's what we're trying to do. So again, just take the fillet off the back of this chicken breast, it'll slip off just beautifully. Give that bacon a little move. It's going to caramelize up gorgeously, but that fat is going to render out and it's going to be really nice. And continue our chicken breast. To that bacon, we're going to add some celery, about, I don't know, a half a cup, quarter cup of celery. This is a flavor, an essence we're giving it. The basic flavor in a good stock is celery, carrots, onions. I'm only eliminating the onion and the carrot, but that celery will give it a lovely fresh. Celery and apples work very well together and we're working with apples. So to that we're going to add Brussels sprouts. Did you know if you dislike Brussels sprouts, it's actually a chemical reaction within your body. People actually are born, they either love or they hate Brussels sprouts and there is no in between. And it's actually a chemical reaction in your mouth. And so you can taste Brussels sprouts and hate them, you'll hate them forever. It will never change. It's just the way that it works within you. So these Brussels sprouts are going to have that gorgeous color. Because we've got them on a high heat, they're going to have a really lovely color. To that, we're going to add an apple that we just chopped up. I rubbed it with a little bit of lime juice. We just chopped it up and it's going to go into our skillet. The chicken now goes into our skillet. And we're going to saute all of this. One of the things that you'll have noticed when we're cooking here at Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry is that it's one pot wonderful because I have a very small kitchen. But what that does is it trains you to think about the food that you're cooking and it trains you to think about how you're going to blend flavors, and that's a really key thing when you're cooking. So we've got all of that in there sauteing down nicely and we want that to cook. That's going to cook for about 5 or 6 minutes to give it a really lovely flavor. Drop in some fleur de sel, some black pepper. The chicken breast that we're using, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of lavender honey. This is amazing honey that comes from Greendale Farms here in the valley. This is a lavender. It just smells breathtaking. And I'm going to pour that honey into that skillet. Isn't that amazing? Isn't food fabulous the way it looks when it does that? Okay, so that's our honey in there. And to that I'm going to add a lime, the juice of a lime. we had the apple soaking in a little lime juice so that it didn't go brown, and now we're going to add a little lime juice into this so it gives it a flavor. I want to do it now so that it infuses the Brussels sprouts with a little bit of that lime juice, and it also creates kind of a steam which will then in turn cook the chicken. Okay, so in our skillet is all this beautiful flavors. You notice that they've cooked down just gorgeously. That gorgeous ruby red of the bacon, the apples, the Brussels sprouts are really cooking nicely. Our very last thing that we're going to add to this is apple sauce. And the reason that and this is a gorgeous, so we got this here at the store. This is a really beautiful organic apple sauce. Basically it's apples pureed and that's it. I really like this one. And what this does is it gives a sheen to the sauce. It gives a depth to the sauce. And it really is going to change. I tell you, I could sit down in front of a movie, a bag of popcorn and a bottle of applesauce. I'm thrilled, I'll tell you, I just love it. This will really thicken it out and give it a gorgeous sheen. But you won't have that baby flavor. You know that baby flavor that you sometimes get from applesauce? You won't have any of that. Now, the chicken that we're working with today, I wanted to talk, because I've talked to you a lot about chicken previously. The chicken that we're working with today is free range. It is not, there are no pesticides used in any of the barns that they sleep in. It is a non-GMO fed, and there are no antibiotics in it, so it's 100% organic. And then the ingredients that we're actually putting in today are 100% organic as well. These chickens really do grow beautifully here, and they have a gorgeous flavor. One of the major things that I've told you about before is the grades of chicken. So if you buy chicken at a lower end supermarket against a higher end supermarket, they can all come from the same farm, but they can go through a process called rumbling. And rumbling is where they basically make the chicken absorb a brine. These breasts have no brine, no water, nothing put in them. So when you buy an 8-ounce chicken breast, you're getting an 8-ounce chicken breast. That's huge, because in comparison, sometimes you'll go to a lower end supermarket and you're buying an 8-ounce, 10-ounce set of chicken breasts, and you're ending up with a 4 to 6-ounce chicken breast. So really pay attention to it. There are classes of food. Okay, so this is finished. This is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so to serve it, what I've done is I pre-cooked some herbe de Provence rice. This is just a basic basmati rice. Just all I did was I dropped a tiny little bit of salt into the rice and about a tablespoon of herbe de Provence while it was cooking, and allowed it just to infuse. It gives it a beautiful floury flavor. It works so well with apples. So a little bit of the rice on our plate. I'm going to take a little bit of our cilantro, and I'm going to tear it and just drop a tiny bit into the pot. And then I'm going to take a tiny little bit and garnish the top of the rice as well. I'm also going to take a little bit of the lime wedge that we used, just to let everyone know that there is lime in the dish. That's always a great thing to complement. So when you're serving this, I love this. Chicken is so beautifully tender. All the beautiful ruby red colors from the bacon. And then it has this gorgeous coating of the apple sauce. So let me just get my spoon and spoon out a little bit of that beautiful Brussels sprouts and apples with that gorgeous ruby from the, excuse that one that fell, gorgeous ruby from the bacon. This dish will serve 3 or 4 people really well. Get away, bug. They'll really enjoy it. I love cooking in the outside. It's wild and wonderful. The place is alive. Really will. And this dish is really excellent. You can make it the day before. You can reheat it the day that you need it. It's got a really, really good keeping power. It actually can be cooked and frozen, which is really good because the apples will break down a little bit more and become more jammy. When we come back, we are going to cook some more beautiful organic chicken breast, and this time we're going to cook it with blackberries. So join me in just a few minutes on Wild for the Weekend.
Wild for the Weekend is sponsored by the following supporters.
Hopcop Premium Meats are third-generation BC farmers, roaming pasture-fed, non-GMO, grain-finished cattle with no added hormones and steroids. We source local produce and specialty grocery selections located on Old Dewdney Trunk Road in Pitt Meadows. hopcopmeats.ca. West Coast Wild Foods, foraged wild mushrooms and truffles harvested from the Northwest Territories to southern BC.
WestCoastWildFoods.com, a wild foods company. Mobile Bandit is an app that helps you find local deals on your smartphone. Downloadable on all devices and no membership is required. Visit mobilebandit.com for more info. Golden Ears Cheeseworks, artisan cheese made in the Fraser Valley. Golden Ears Cheeseworks, cheese made with the family farm milk. 3-year cheddar, Yorkshire Blue, and Brie. Hagensport Chocolates is a boutique Vancouver-based chocolate company that has been producing European chocolate since 2006. Pure Verona chocolate. Third generation family farm in the Fraser Valley. Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry has free-range duck and goose, duck sausage and smoked duck breast, organic chicken and ground duck patties. Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry in Chilliwack, BC. FVDG.com.
Anita's Organic Flour and Mixes has over 20 years providing whole grain products from Canadian farmers. Anita's is certified organic grains, flour, cereals, mixes, and sprouted products. Their granite stone mills and low temperature milling preserve the nutrition for whole grain food. AnitasOrganic.com.
Welcome back to Wild for the Weekend and our organic chicken fiesta here at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Farm. We're going to cook some more chicken breasts now, and this time we're going to cook them with beautiful blackberries, organic blackberries. I really like this dish. So, into our skillet. We've been working a lot with the skillet while we've been out here at the farm, but really it's just the easiest way to cook dishes, so let's go ahead and do it. In our skillet, a little glug of olive oil. Not too much this time, but just a little glug. And to that, I'm going to add the essence of the sauce. This is the essence of all kind of good soups, good sauces. That is some celery. We're going to put some onions into the skillet. Not too many because we don't want that sharp, overpowering flavor to come in. And then we're going to add some carrots. So celery, onions, and carrots are the base for every single good deep sauce that you want. A little bit of fleur de sel in there just to leach out. Two things are going to happen when we put some salt into that skillet. The onion is going to allow all of the moisture inside of the onion to come out. We want that to happen because we want them to release that lovely flavor into the sauce. The carrots and the celery are going to absorb part of that in, so it all comes together and really has a beautiful flavor. So our skillet has that in. We're going to put our broccolini in just a few minutes along with our blackberries. But first of all, we're going to put in the chicken breast. Chicken breast, because I already have the oil in there, I don't want to put any more in or rub any oil onto the breasts themselves. I'm going to put the chicken in, and I'm going to put it in face side down. I really want to turn this chicken about once. So we're going to put it in what I call face side down. This is the face of the bird. This is when you're serving, this is the side of the chicken that you want to show. So that's the face. That's what we mean when we say face side down. So clear a little bit of space around and put the whole breast in. You notice this time I didn't take that fillet off of the back. Put that whole breast in there, and you're going to cook that so that it cooks through. Now chicken breast will take about 3 or 4 minutes per inch. And I say these are 2.5 inch breasts, so we're looking at about a 10 to 12 minute cook. Chicken should be cooked through. This isn't one of those things where you want it pink in the middle, even if it does come from an organic farm and it is fed a non-GMO food and there's no pesticides. All of these things are crucial, but it's still you want to cook it through. You don't want any chance of Campylobacter or anything like that being around, and so to do that we want to eliminate it. So our chicken breast has cooked about 60% of the way through. So when it gets to that stage, there's two things that we're going to add. We're going to add the beautiful organic blackberries. I love this. Where I live on the Fraser River, actually, we have just acres and acres of blackberries. And you want to see me at the end of summer, I'm just gashed to death because I've been in there and I've just been eating them or collecting them. Or put the blackberries into that skillet. They're going to bleed, a thing called bleed, and we want them to bleed. We want them to release that lovely juice. I'm going to put a little bit of broccolini in there as well. I love springtime. I love broccolini. It's such a lovely, it loves the winter. It's that first burst of a good winter vegetable. So I just want to put some broccolini in there, and we're just going to steam them a little bit. As you can see in the skillet, there's the juice from the blackberries will go in there. There's the juice from the chicken breast that's gone in there. I put a tiny, tiny little bit of stock in there, and it's really doing a beautiful job. So we'll just allow that to cook down. I'm just going to reduce it ever so slightly. So what would you accompany this blackberry chicken dish with? I love this salad. This a really nice one. This is just basically a carrot, celery, and cucumber salad. It's got a lovely French, really gorgeous flavor to it. It's very, very light, and it goes with almost everything. So it's a very good salad to serve with this dish. The colors will work so beautifully well with it as well. But before we get started, I want to add a little bit of fleur de sel to our plate, and this time I'm putting on that beautiful blackberry fleur de sel because we've got blackberries in our dish, so why not add the blackberry fleur de sel to our plate? And as Philippe, the man who makes our fleur de sel over on Salt Spring, says, one should sell the plate and allow it to flavor the food. So on top of that gorgeous blackberry fleur de sel, we're going to put a nice mix of this salad. And this salad's not dressed at the moment. And really, the only thing that I would dress this with is a tiny little bit of olive oil. Just a little drizzle, nothing major, just a very simple bit of olive oil onto that plate. Into our skillet, which is just cooking away beautifully. The chicken breasts are cooking, the blackberries, the broccolini are steaming nicely from all of those lovely sauces and juices. If you wanted to, you can take the back of your spoon or your wooden spoon or whatever and just press the blackberries down. What will happen is they'll jam up, they'll disintegrate a little bit more. Don't do them all, just do some of them. You'll notice I'm only doing half of them. And then leave some whole. And what that does is it allows the sauce to thicken with the lovely blackberries, but it leaves the shape of them as well. And you want that shape to exist there. So, cook them a little bit more. Gorgeous chicken breast. It'll start taking on that color from the sauce as well, and it's really beautiful. When you bring your chicken breast out, let them sit for just about 3 minutes, not too long, but you want to give them a rest, just like we did or we do with any beef. We want them to sit there just for a few minutes, just to rest, allow them to just get a little bit of moisture back into the center of them, allow them to even out, because if we cut them now, it's just going to think, oh, big cut, I need to seal that off, and all the juice is going to run out the side. We don't want that to happen. I have beautiful Spanish paprika here. None of it is on this part of the dish yet, but we're going to take a good hearty pinch and put it into these blackberries. And you're thinking, blackberries, Spanish paprika, you've gone off the deep end yet again, Steele. You're like, nuts, what's going on in our kitchen? But trust me, this is really going to be a gorgeous flavor. I just want to take our gentle broccolinis out. When I serve them, try and serve them so they go floury around the edge of our plate. And that'll allow me just to mix up this gorgeous sauce a little more gently. Really got a gorgeously, you want to reduce that stock down to about 2 tablespoons, just so that it has a little bit of liquid left in the skillet, but not too much. So take our gorgeous blackberry compote and put it over our chicken. When you serve, remember to always allow yourself to have some of the protein showing. Don't cover everything in what you've made. So you'll notice that with the blackberry, I'm actually putting it down the middle. Let me just remove this salad so you can see it just a little bit better. I'm putting it down the center so that you can see the chicken on either side of it. It's got a really beautiful, beautiful flavor. And I love that golden color with the dark richness of these blackberries. Beautiful dish to make in the springtime, and a really gorgeous dish to make in the summertime. A pièce de résistance on this, and the thing that I love the most, and this is pure luxury. This has got very little to do with the actual, this is pure luxury. I love this. We have gorgeous, this is from the farmhouse out here in the Fraser Valley, and you can get this cheese here at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Store. But just take this beautiful, this brie is so ready to be eaten. It is stunning. Just take some of that gorgeous brie and a slice, a good slice, but a slice on top of each chicken breast. That was the train just telling us that the duck and chicken are ready to be picked up. So a lovely big slice of this gorgeous cream brie on top there, and that's the garnish. That will add an element of real luxury, real cream, a real depth to it, a real gorgeous flavor to that chicken dish. It looks like a very hearty meal, it is, with a really nice white wine. Even a sweeter white wine would work well with this dish, even up to a really deep, heavy South Australian red, especially the South Australian McLaren. That's a gorgeous wine with blackberries. You'll really enjoy it. When we come back, we're going to just finish off with our chicken here, our organic chicken here at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Farm. And we'll see you again in just a couple of minutes on Wild for the Weekend.
Wild for the Weekend is sponsored by the following supporters. Hopcop Premium Meats are third-generation BC farmers, roaming pasture-fed, non-GMO, grain-finished cattle with no added hormones and steroids. We source local produce and specialty grocery selections located on Old Dewdney Trunk Road in Pitt Meadows. hopcopmeats.ca. West Coast Wild Foods, foraged wild mushrooms and truffles harvested from the Northwest Territories to southern BC. westcoastwildfoods.com, a wild foods company. Mobile Bandit is an app that helps you find local deals on your smartphone. Downloadable on all devices and no membership is required. Visit mobilebandit.com for more info. Golden Ears Cheeseworks, artisan cheese made in the Fraser Valley. Golden Ears Cheeseworks, cheese made with the family farm milk. 3-year cheddar, Yorkshire Blue, and Brie. Hagen's Board Chocolates is a boutique Vancouver-based chocolate company that has been producing European chocolate since 2006. Pure Verona chocolate.
Third generation family farm in the Fraser Valley. Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry has free-range duck and goose, duck sausage and smoked duck breast, organic chicken and ground duck patties. Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry in Chilliwack, BC. fvdg.com.
Anita's Organic Flour and Mixes has over 20 years providing whole grain products from Canadian farmers. Anita's is certified organic grains, flour, cereals, mixes and sprouted products. Their granite stone mills and low temperature milling preserve the nutrition for whole grain food. AnitasOrganic.com.
Welcome back to Wild for the Weekend. We are going to deal with some questions that I've been given. We get a lot of questions in, so I thought I'd answer some questions for you. Well, the first question that I received was, do you salt meat or any protein before you add heat to it or after? And it's a very, very good question. There are a great many poultries that I season prior to cooking, and that is just really to give it some flavor. The salt is going to take any of the brine out of the poultry that you have. So that's why I would salt poultry prior to adding any heat to it. But I rarely add salt to meat prior to heating it. And the reason for that is that I want the meat to sear and I want all of the juice to remain in. So there's a slight difference. Poultry I do salt prior to heating, and meat I never salt prior to heating, and I actually salt after it's been charred a little. And our fleur de sel guy, we don't even salt until it goes on the plate. So it was a very good question. The second question was adding cold protein to a hot skillet. You want to be very aware when you add any cold proteins into a hot environment that you're bringing them up to 165 degrees. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you bring it up to 165 degrees. But it raises the third question, which was, why do I sear some items and I don't sear other items? Well, the reason that I sear most items is to retain flavor, so that we're keeping the juices and everything inside. And sometimes when I don't sear it, it's because I want the flavors to be soaked in. So chicken, duck, turkey, all of those kind of things, I want that flavor to be absorbed. So oftentimes I don't sear it. But if the protein is darker, more gamey, or is a cattle, then I definitely sear it to keep that flavor in. Keep the questions coming because I really like them. I like to help you out in any way that I can. So you can email them in or contact us through our website. It's been a real pleasure being out here at the Fraser Valley Specialty Poultry Farm. We've had an excellent time on our 2 days here. We'll see you again soon on Wild for the Weekend, where we can continue cooking wild ingredients from beautiful British Columbia.